Are we live? We're live, guy. Hi, guys. So I'll just top my coffee up. So we're going back to the ANITA book. What I want to do. Okay. So what I want to do, guys, is I want to go through chapter 10 a bit more with the love letters. Because let me just get so my lovely wife is out. Tino and Yasmin have gone trampolining with my wife. Right, I got my coffee. So morning, guys. So hi, Defending Elvis Presley fans want the truth. Hi, Team Elvis. I'm not actually that late. I'm 11 minutes late, which is good for me. I got the house to myself. The kids are with my wife, and the older kids are asleep upstairs, so they might appear. Who we got on? We got Songbird, Yisa, Nicola, Lorna. So of course more of you will join. So something I've never told you guys about my wife before. Yes, definitely had a haircut, mate. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree. Got dog hairs all over me. The dogs like live on me. I've still been messing around with my wife's car this morning. It's raining, but I have been trying to sort my wife's car out. It's still not fixed yet, but we're getting there. I'm hoping I don't have to do the clutch. There's a chance that I have to change the clutch, which I don't want. If I have to do the clutch on that car, it's going to take me 3 days. So fingers crossed, it's not the clutch. I'm hoping, no, it's not fixed yet, but because of the rain. Songbird, it's because of the rain. The rain is stopping me because I want to lie down under the car, and I can't because it's raining. It's okay, I'll do it. No, I won't. I'm not using a garage. I'm doing it myself. I've been fixing cars my whole life. My first job when I was 15 was in a garage. I've always fixed cars. Always. I only use a garage if I really have to. So something about my wife. I don't think I've ever told you this before. Yeah, I don't think I've ever told you this before, but my wife used to compete trampolining. Yeah. So my wife did trampolining for Great Britain. She came 3rd in the world. Yeah. I'm going to show you something. Now, my wife now, she teaches, gymnastics, trampolining. She has done her whole life. So I'm going to quickly show you, just very, very quickly, my wife doing trampolining. You're going to be quite surprised. When I met her, hi, Sue. Yeah, I do like to save money, but it's not just that. I also enjoy it. But I have to be in the mood to work on cars. I have to be in the mood for it. It has to be something I feel like doing. But I definitely save a lot of money, 100%. Come on, let's put my wife on and I'll show you how amazing she is. Now, when I met her, right, so let's have a look. I just want to see if we can find a video that's more close up. Let's have a look. Now, I want to get one closer than that, but let's see, that would work. But so my wife, when I met her when she was 22, was had just given up trampolining because she just went through a phase where she just didn't want to do it, but she'd been doing it since she was 6. But then we had 2 children, and then she started doing it again. So this video is my wife. This is her I'm a bit younger on this video, but you're going to see I've still got my Elvis quiff. So this video is my wife when she had a comeback. So this is 10 years after we met. So my wife in this video is 30, 31. So this is her comeback, yeah? Let's have a look. Let's put it on. She's had one very difficult competitor. Right, don't be quiet now, because I'm recording Mummy. So let's go right to the beginning. Right, we're always about to go on now. This is her vault. And then it's over. She's had one very difficult competitor. Right, don't be quiet now, because I'm recording Mummy. So that's my wife. So I'm just giving you a feel for my family. Now, this was 10 years. She had retired for 10 years and she came back and she did a comeback and she actually won that competition. So, yeah, let's see if I can find one of her when she was young, when she was 21, 22. I'm just doing this so we get a few more people to join us. Then we're going to get ELVIS-y. So I'll play one more, then we'll get on with my topics. So I met my wife when I met her. How can I explain it? It's, here's one here. So in that one, she is 31 years old. I don't know if I've got any of her young, to be honest with you. Probably not. Let's just have a look. Let's just see if I've got any of her when she was young. I don't think I do. When she was 22, yeah? But, no, 21. I don't think I do. Let's have a look. But you get the idea. So my wife is very into gymnastics, very into fitness and trampolining. She runs competitions for children to do trampolining. And that's every Saturday. She goes off and she's training children to compete, eventually compete for Great Britain and eventually the Olympics. So and so trampolining for my wife is a big part of her life because she did it from the age of 6 and then she competed all around the world. Like she went to Australia and Russia and many different countries competing. It's just in her. It's just part of. It's actually part of who she is. So when I met her, I got introduced to that world of competing within trampolining. I had to accept it. So I wanted to accept it. I was very impressed. Yeah. So we would go around doing different competitions. This is the early years of being with my wife. It was very impressive, very, very impressive. Like, so you get the idea. So this is where my wife goes every Saturday. She's training children to compete. Anyway, I just thought, give you an idea of the way she is. Put some more hot water in this coffee. Now, I want to do 2 lives this morning. Of course, I'm very, very proud of my wife. Very proud. And right. Yeah, she's naturally sporty. Her mum is, her brother is. She just always has been. She always has been. Now me, yes, I'll go for a run and I'll do weightlifting and keep fit and active, but I'm not sporty. I'm not sporty. Okay, so what we're going to do today, guys, is we're going to carry on with this book. We're due to read chapter 11, but I want to go through chapter 10 a bit because it's got the love letters in. We read one of the love letters yesterday. I want to read the other. I think there's more than that. Let's have a look. So this is the one I read yesterday. Let me just see. So we've got one. So we've got 1, 2 very long love letters to read. They're very long, guys. Now, someone said to me the other day that Elvis, there are not many love letters from Elvis. Is this true? Does anyone know? Someone said to me that. Now, it made me ask a question. Did Elvis do love letters for Linda or for Priscilla? Or Ginger, anyone else? Did Elvis send anyone else a love letter? I don't know the answer to that question. So please, in your comments, if you're watching this later or tomorrow or another day, let me know. Did Elvis write love letters to other people? I'm very interested. In fact, I'll Google it. Because I think when you read these love letters, I know these are obviously from the late 50s, early 60s. So you see a young Elvis in these letters. But I do think they give you a real good insight into Elvis, the man. So I just want to write Elvis love letters on my Google and see if any come up that are not for ANITA. Did he write love letters to anyone else? I'm just seeing if anything comes up. No, just the song comes up. What is this? This one here. Yeah, that's just another. That is just the one to ANITA. So one has come up. Yeah, it's all the ANITA ones. There's love letters that have been sent to Elvis. I'm going to look into that. There's one here. I can't read it, but it says, "Dear Elvis, I have listened to you every single day for the last 28 years, which, I can't read it, which represents 68% of my life." I can't read it. I've listened to your, no, can't read it. I wonder if I click on visit, I wonder if it gives me a typed out version of it. Love letters to Elvis. Oh no, it's love letters to Elvis. This is on the Graceland website. Have you ever heard of that, guys? Love letters to Elvis. And it's on the Graceland. That's interesting, isn't it, guys? So you can send a love letter to Elvis through the Graceland website. It's really interesting. Right, so let me just quickly check your comments. So I've got a plan. I want to try and do 2 lives this morning. I want to do the love letters of this fantastic book, Once Upon a Time, Elvis and ANITA. This is my favorite book I've read, definitely. And I want to start chapter 1 of From Here to the Great Unknown. So we're going to spend I don't know, 45 minutes doing this. Then I'll end the live. I'll come back again and we'll do chapter 1 of From Here to the Great Unknown. That is my plan for the 2 lives that we're going to do this morning. So I want to make some space so I can read this. Hi, Linda. Oh, Linda, I didn't message you. Oh, no, I'm so naughty. Anyway, I've messaged everyone anyway, so I'll just quickly I'll just very, very quickly just put it on the Defending Elvis chat live now. Of course, we've got Elvis in the background. And then we'll just start reading the love letters. We read such a good love letter yesterday. I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. Okay. And then we've got the Defending Elvis. Okay, live now. Right. I think everyone knows anyway, but I know that a lot of you in America are asleep, but of course we have a lot of people in England, Australia as well, and all different countries. I hope you've got yourselves a nice coffee. If you're just waking up in America and you're watching the repeat of this, the replay, morning. Hope you had a good night's sleep. Catch you later. Okay. Are we ready? Hi, Josie. So, chapter 10, we've already read, but I want to go through it again. So, I thought what we would do is read the section that leads up to the letter. So, there's a conversation that's here. Now, remember, this book has been written by Anita Wood's daughter. So, she refers to her daughter as Mama. So in case you don't know this, whenever she says Mama, she's referring to Mum, you know, like Anita Wood, yeah? Let's have a look. Mama returned to the call the next day, and when Elvis answered, she nearly jumped out of her skin. Her voice sounded funny, like he was talking in a barrel, but it was Elvis, and she was overjoyed. So I'm guessing, just trying to bring things up to date, I'm guessing it's 9:59. He's at his house in Germany, yeah? I think. Right, so she says, how are you doing over there, she asked. Oh, fine, said Elvis. Folks are friendly enough. He calls her little. Nobody speaks any English. I don't like it when people talk around me, and I don't know what they are saying. You missing home? Says Anita Wood. Yes, I do, said Elvis. I talked to Daddy and I talked to Dodger. Last night, I know they're both getting mighty lonesome. You got your passport yet? So I think at this point, it was all planned that Anita was going to Germany to stay with Elvis. Remember, they were in love. This was a very strong relationship. You'll see that there is a change coming. There's a change. So then she says, I'm working on it. Then he says, that's good, little. He calls her little. You know, I'm trying to get you here just as soon as I can. So I think there was a phase where Elvis was determined to get Anita to come over. Now, from different bits of research that we're learning together, we're starting to discover now that he was seeing other women, even one of the secretaries in the house. I'm not sure if at this point he had quite met Priscilla. I think he met Priscilla the last 6 months before he returned to America in 1960. So the bit of research I've done shows that they had a brief friendship with Priscilla. We don't really truly know what went on. We know Priscilla's version of what went on in her book. I don't believe it. just my opinion. I think Priscilla has exaggerated the truth in her book. I don't think they were as lovey-dovey as she makes out, but that's just my opinion. Yeah. And I'll tell you why. Because if you really understand Elvis and his Christian upbringing, and he had very old-fashioned values about no sex before marriage, and the girl that he chooses to marry had to be sweet and innocent. You know, a girl that doesn't have a bad reputation. I doubt, just in my opinion, guys, just Louis at home in his kitchen with my opinions, I don't believe that things went on in Germany as much as this book says. I think this book is exaggerating. I could be wrong. Could be wrong, guys. It's just how I feel. I go by how I see Elvis as a Christian man and the way he was and the way he treated his women. I think Elvis had one way of treating a woman that he had long-term intentions with, and a different way of treating women that it was just for fun. So Anita Wood, he highly respected her. She was a virgin. So he treated her in a certain way. He treated her with respect as a gentleman. And I think even with Priscilla, when he meets her, I think he treated her the same way. So when I hear Priscilla saying that we did this and did that and blah, 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 I'm like, doesn't sound like Elvis to me. That's just my opinion, guys. Does anyone agree? Please leave it in the comments. If you're listening to this video later, leave it in the comments. Tell me what you think. Do you think Priscilla exaggerated the relationship in Germany in 1959 with Elvis? So then he asked Mama to do him a favor. I want you to start writing me. I'm going to give you my address. So that's your letters will always go straight to me. So that your letters will always go straight to me. All right, said Mama. Will you write me back? He hesitated for a moment. I don't know, little. You know, I'm not one for writing letters, but I will call you every week. And I think that's true, isn't it, guys? He says he promises. True to his word, Elvis called Mama once a week and sometimes more than that. He was afraid that she might find someone else while he was gone. So he always peppered his calls with how much he loved her, missed her, and wanted to be back home. So he kept her sweet. I think he really did miss her, but I also think Elvis had a bit of a double life in Germany that he didn't want Anita to know about. He didn't want her to wander. He didn't want Anita to go with other men, to like other men. He wanted Anita to stay loyal and faithful and wait for him. Yeah, he liked the thought of her sitting at home waiting for him. He did. So he kept her sweet. Now, I say that with respect, guys. One night when Elvis called Mama, Mama was bursting with good news. I finally got my picture and papers ready for my passport, she squealed. Much to her surprise, Elvis, however, grew silent. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, he finally said, but Colonel Parker said no. Now, this is the bit we were chatting about this yesterday, guys. Something changes in Elvis. He goes from really wanting her to come to Germany and live with him in the house that they rented. Is it Bad Neuheim? Yeah. To actually, I don't want you to come. Now, 100% he's blaming Colonel Tom Parker. And I do think it's very possible that Colonel Tom Parker is a big reason why she didn't come, because I think Colonel Tom Parker did feel that Elvis having the image of a single man was good for his career. But I also think, in my opinion, that Elvis really, after making friends in and getting used to Germany, meeting other women, we know that he was seeing up to 4 women, is it? In Germany. They may have just been good friends, but they were female good friends. So it's possible that he used the Colonel Tom Parker as an excuse so that he could get on with his life, or it's true. that Colonel Tom Parker stopped her, or a bit of both, or a bit of Elvis didn't really want her to come over because he wanted to get on with his secret life that he had. And Colonel Tom Parker also recommended that she doesn't come to Germany. So I think us as fans, we have to decide for ourselves, don't we, guys? We have to just go, bye, Linda. See you later. Have a good day. Merry Christmas, Linda. So what we're trying to decide here is, did Anita really want to come over? No, sorry. Did Elvis change his mind about Anita visiting? How much was it because of the Colonel? Of course I will, Linda, but you know my memory is terrible, but I will try to... my memory is terrible. I've got a memory of an 80-year-old. So obviously there's a nice Christmas atmosphere at the moment. So all of you enjoy Christmas. It feels good. It feels great. So let's keep going. Now, when I talk about Elvis and how he felt in Germany and the fact that he needed his space, he felt that Anita shouldn't come over. He obviously says it was because of the Colonel. I say it with respect. I'm trying to work out Elvis, a very young Elvis, who is in love with Anita. Yeah. She's probably the most important female in his life. We know that Gladys and Vernon really liked her as well. She's lovely. She's a decent girl and very talented and beautiful with a very busy career. But I think a man as young as that, he's not ready to settle. I really believe that Elvis just felt not ready to settle. As much as he loved Anita, I think he still wanted to enjoy life and meet other women. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. He's a very young man, so obviously he's getting a massive amount of attention. Let's have a look. Much to her surprise, Elvis grew silent. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, he finally said, but Colonel Parker said no. Needless to say, Mama's heart sank. I don't understand. You know how much I want to see her. I've got all my shots and everything. I'm so sorry, little, said Elvis. I want you to come. So bad. He told Mama that according to the Colonel, if word got around that she was coming to Germany, the press would have them engaged or married, and that would be bad for Elvis's public image. Son, you don't need anything like that right now, Parker told Elvis. You need to be absolutely free for when you come back home and resume your career. I mean, I'm guessing now, because obviously I didn't grow up in the 1950s, the late 50s or early 60s. But obviously this is 59, is it? Now, I think it was very well known that Elvis was seeing Anita Wood. I think they were in the press a lot, probably even in the TV news clips. So I'm a bit unsure why Colonel Parker decided that it wasn't right for Anita to go to Germany, because I think everyone knew about Anita, didn't they? She was famous in her own right. I think everyone knew they were dating because they'd been dating quite a while. So I just find that interesting. So again, Elvis apologized. He seemed as upset about it as Mama. But his manager, let me just read this. But he's my manager, Little. I have to do what he says about my career. And he says, you come in here, we'll ruin it. So obviously I'm not convinced with that. But of course it wouldn't have ruined it. I do think that Colonel Tom Parker did get involved where he shouldn't. I also do think that it's possible he's the reason she didn't come over, but I'm not convinced it's completely because of Colonel Tom Parker. I'm not convinced. I think a bit of both, bit of Elvis, bit of Colonel Tom Parker is why she didn't come over. After this conversation, Elvis must have decided that if he couldn't bring Mama to Germany, he would have to start writing her. He sent her pictures, postcards, Valentine cards, and though he didn't like writing the letters, he also wrote my mama 3 long, multi-page, heartfelt letters in which he poured out his feelings and reinforced many of the things that he'd been saying on the phone. The first letter from Elvis was on stationery from the Hotel Grunwald. So this is going to be the first. This is the second letter we're going to read. They're quite long. They're hard to read. The letters are tiny. I'm going to read it. Then we're going to read a bit more, and then we're going to go on to the third letter, which is here at the back. And that takes us to the end of chapter 10. And then we're going to sign out and come back, and we're going to have a go at reading the first chapter of this. We are eventually going to come back to chapter 11 on this book. So we're still just skimming through chapter 10. Because I do intend to go through all these books that you guys have sent me. You guys have sent me quite a few books. I do intend to read them. I'm doing it in a way where YouTube are happy. So we do it in a way where we're reviewing them, not just reading them word for word, which I'm actually quite enjoying. So let's have a look. So it's quite small letters. So I'm going to just try and read it slowly. I want to turn the TV down because it's distracting me. I think we need some silence. Larry, people have to realize that a young man in the army has very little private time. There was no special treatment for Elvis for his time in the army. Hi, Larry. Hi, Helen. Right, so let's read this letter. Now, just in case someone's just joined us, chapter 10 of this book. I love this book. I highly recommend this book. Highly recommend. This is one of the best. This is my favorite book at the moment. Yeah. So, dear little Bitty, for the first time in 100 years, I am writing a letter. So, Elvis didn't like to write letters. Yeah. You can see why I don't like to write. The reason being, I can't write worth a damn. Is that what you're saying? I just thought of so many things I wanted to say to you, and I couldn't say them on the phone. You'll never know how much I miss you, baby, and how much I want to pet you and call you Wiggly Bitty. Obviously, we know Elvis liked baby talk, yeah? Your little picture is by my bed every night before I go to sleep. I always say good night, little pee-pee. The people over here are very nice and friendly, although they are living about 30 years behind us. Don't quote me. I haven't dated a single girl since I've been here. Okay, guys, I mean, come on. We don't know that's true, do we? 4:43 a.m. What are you doing awake at that time, Larry? Here in England, it's about 10 a.m. around. Maybe actually, it's probably earlier. Anyway, the reason being I don't have time, and every time I get out of the hotel, I get mobbed. Also, I haven't seen a girl yet that could speak English. You say hello to one, and she says, Luben slick ein. I can't read any of that. Anyway, I want to explain something to you. You have got to trust me and believe me. I am very serious when I say it. I will tell you this much. I have never and never will be again love anyone like I love you, sweetheart. Now, does he mean this, guys? Does he mean this? Also, I guarantee that when I marry, it will be Miss Littlewood Presley. So he's, this is his letter saying he guarantees that he's going to marry her, guys. Elvis. There is There is a lot you have to understand, though. Only God knows when the time will be right. So you have got to consider this and love me, trust me, and keep yourself clean and wholesome, because that is the one big thing that can determine our lives and happiness together. He was making sure that she was faithful and loyal and sweet and innocent. And she was a virgin, wasn't she, guys? But she was a decent girl. He had nothing to worry about. If you believe me and trust me, you will wait for me. Our future will be filled with happiness. With God's help, it will work itself out, and you will understand and be patient. And I actually think Elvis probably meant it, didn't he? I actually think Elvis did think he may one day marry Anita, and he loved her. We know that Gladys and Vernon really loved Anita. I worked so hard to build up my career and everything, and if you truly love me, you would not want anything to happen to it and cause me to be unhappy. No matter what I am doing, whether it is army, making movies, traveling, or singing, I will be thinking of the time when you have our first little Elvis Presley. Now remember, they were going to call their first boy Elvis Presley Jr. and their first girl Lisa Marie. I was quite surprised that Elvis always wanted to call his first daughter Lisa Marie. So have this in mind and don't get discouraged and lonely. I just remember there is a guy that loves you with all his heart and wants to marry you. One more thing, honey. For goodness sake, please don't let anyone read this and don't say a word about this letter to anyone. You know how I hate that. To be careful, baby. Yeah, so he wants his words to be kept private, don't he, guys? If you love me and you are sincere, you wouldn't want to let anyone know our intimate secrets. And then he says, I better go now, love. So be happy and remember down in your little heart that I love you, love you, love you. Keep writing. P.S. I love you. That's a beautiful letter, guys. Beautiful letter. Hi, Rosalind. Hi, Diana. So we're doing chapter 10. We're reviewing it and we're reading the love letters. Okay, just 1 second. So at the moment, we've got a nice quiet household. I wonder how long that's going to last. Do, 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 do. Okay. Right. Surprised none of the kids have come down. So, oh yes, nice coffee, guys. I hope you got your coffee. Warm that a bit. So in case you missed yesterday's live, we did do a love letter yesterday, and we had a good chat about this book and about Anita Word, about Elvis, which I really enjoyed actually. The yesterday's lives I really liked, I thought they were great. And you know, I do want to read all these books, guys. We're definitely going to go through them bit by bit. But the way I'm changing how we read them is that we're going to discuss them as well. We're not just going to read them, you know, that's the end. We're going to discuss them. So that was such a sweet, beautiful letter. Guys, could you imagine receiving a letter like that from Elvis? Just quickly checking your comments. Oh, poor Diana, you'll be okay, my friends. Karen, hi Karen. We're still reading part of chapter 10. We read the lead up to the love letters. We've just read a love letter. We're going to read a bit more, and then we're going to read another love letter, which is, there's 3 altogether, but I've already read one. Once we get to the end of this, we're going to end the live. I'm going to come straight back, and we're going to do we're going to talk about chapter 1 on From Here to the Great Unknown. Yeah. It's a very, very long chapter. It's like 26 pages. No, actually more than that. 44 pages. So we're not going to read all of it. It's too much. But we're going to read bits and comment on it. But let's just do this one. Let's carry on where we are now. Right. So now I ask you, who could dispute that Elvis loved my mum? So don't forget, it's the daughter that wrote the book. After reading that, most girls I know would die to receive a letter like that. Mama cherished this letter to this day. It's one thing to have someone say, I love you, but it's totally different to have it expressed in words that you can hold on to and read over and over. Those circumstances forced them to keep their relationship secret. At least Mama knew just how much that she meant to him, and she believed that once Elvis came home, it wouldn't be long before the rest of the world would finally know how much he loved her too. So, you know, there's a lot more to the story, isn't there, guys? You know, Elvis gives an impression to Anita Wood that he wants her to wait for him and stay innocent for him and be loyal, and that he basically promises her that he's going to marry her one day, that they're going to have children. He keeps her hanging on. He's very charming. It's a very sweet letter with baby talk. He makes some very serious promises. He keeps reminding her that he loves her. So, you know, really, she had no reason, Anita had no reason to not believe Elvis. She doesn't know that there's other stuff going on in Germany. She doesn't know that Elvis has met other women. I'm not sure if Elvis has met Priscilla at this point. I don't really know. So let's just read. Hi, Luann. How are you? Hi, everyone. Hello, Lou. Back in the day, would have been good for Elvis to have those people go with the person for the tour around memory walks. Elvis to made his own documentary. Yeah, I think it would. I would have loved it if Elvis made his own documentary. Okay, Rosalind, but we've got about 15 minutes left of this, and then I'll come back. But okay, Rosalind, I understand. It's 4 a.m. in the morning. Right, come on, let's get on and read this next love letter then, yeah? Okay, so we only got to read a small bit, and then we're going to get on with the love letter. We are going to skip this love letter and move on to the next love letter. So Elvis continued to call Mama at every opportunity because of his schedule. There was no set pattern to when he'd call. Sometimes it was early in the morning, sometimes late at night. Good thing Mama was a light sleeper because she woke up easily to answer the phone. On those occasions when Mama was out of town for a singing engagement, Elvis would talk to my grandmother and find out how to reach her. So I do think Elvis would reach out. He wanted to know where Anita was. He was, I think, you know, I mean this in a respectful way. I think Elvis did check on Anita, yeah? Mama also wrote Elvis many letters telling him everything that was going on in her life while asking what's happening with him. Sometimes the press reports of all the girls that he was supposedly seeing would be too much for her, and she'd let her frustrations show. Elvis, of course, denied that anything was going on and did its best to reassure her. Still, it was another indication that the next 18 months were going to be long and hard. I mean, come on, guys, especially if you're a girl. She suffered. She really worried about him. You know, Elvis, the most famous man in the world, all the women throwing themselves at him. And I think deep down, Anita knew that Elvis couldn't be faithful. I think she knew. He would go through phases of being loyal, wouldn't he? Yeah. But a lot of temptation, guys, and a very young man. Yeah, Karen. I know even me as a man, if I was with a girl and I was worried that she was being completely faithful, it would have seriously affected me. Yeah. Male or female. Yeah. So my heart breaks for Anita, but I also understand a young man, you know, a very young man in his 20s. It's almost impossible with the sort of attention that he got and how good looking he was. Obviously how famous he was. Could he be faithful? Does a man have that much strength in his 20s? He wasn't married, he wasn't engaged, no children. So almost impossible for Elvis to not have female friends in Germany. And as it turns out, he had quite a few. Yeah. Mama also wrote Elvis many letters telling him everything that was going on in her life, whilst asking what was happening with him. Sometimes the press reports of all the girls that he was supposedly seeing would be too much for her, and she'd let her frustrations show. Elvis, of course, denied that anything was going on and did his best to reassure her. Still, it was another indication that in the next 18 months were going to be long and hard. I wanted to read that again because we're trying to put ourselves in Anita's head. We're also trying to put ourselves in Elvis's head. So one time Elvis called Mama and said, "Get some paper, little. I have a song I want you to write down." This was not unusual. Many times Elvis would read something or hear a poem or a song and want to write down the words so she could be thinking about the same thing that he was. He really had a photographic memory. I remember we read this yesterday, didn't we? On this occasion, he wanted to share her song. Marty Robbins' "Tomorrow You'll Be Gone." When he finished reciting, Elvis said, "Did you write that down?" "Yes, I did, Mama. That's good. I want you to read that sad song. I think on it." Mama not only thought of those words while Elvis was away, he still has the sheet. Now, should we try and find that song before I read the poem? Because I'm going to read the poem in a sec. Marty Robbins, "Tomorrow You'll Be Gone." Do any of you know that song? Marty Robbins, "Tomorrow You'll Be Gone." Let's have a look, guys. Marty. Where are we? Robbins. "Tomorrow Will Be Gone." Tomorrow. Just see if it comes up, guys. Something's come up. Now, I don't know. Come on, guys, we'll play it, yeah? Are we ready? Bit of music in the middle of our show. I'll read your comments while we play it, okay? Right. Okay, someone's ringing. Allosaurus. That's my brother trying to ring. So I'll just message him saying, because we've only got, what time is it? Right, let's have a look. So guys, I'll wrap it up because I'm gonna have to ring him back. We've been nearly an hour. So I want to do another part 2 of Anita Wood's book before we read this. So what I'm going to do is going to speak to my brother. Then I'm going to come straight back and we're going to carry on with this. Yeah? And maybe we'll play some more songs. I really like that. I thought that was a beautiful song. A beautiful song. I loved it. So guys, I'll be back in a minute. Give me 15 minutes and I'm coming back. Take it easy, guys. All the best.